People have talked more about Bud Light recently than any time since they wanted an upgrade from Natty Light back in college. The Dylan Mulvaney controversy led to boycotts and cost the company billions of dollars in sales in just a few months. With the saying, "Go woke, go broke," just how woke is the owner of Bud Light, Anheuser Busch? We'll look at a few things: the Black Lives Matter protests in 2020, their COVID vaccination policies, the Dylan Mulvaney controversy in particular, the company's response, their interactions with the pro-LGBTQ+ organization HRC, or Human Rights Campaign, and lastly, how they spend their political dollars. Part 1. Black Lives Matter's riots and protests. Anheuser Busch voiced support for the Black Lives Matters movement. They made their brewing director, Natalie Johnson, a black female in November of 2020. The company also did Thursday night football advertisements designed to give shout-outs to black-owned bars and restaurants. Their Super Bowl 2021 advertisements broke with the traditional halftime ad and instead featured athletes in Black Lives Matter's jerseys. They wanted the majority of their funds to go towards advertisements and awareness for COVID-19 vaccination. Part 2. COVID-19 vaccines. In 2021, Anheuser Busch issued a statement that they would give away free beer if 70% of adults in the United States became at least partially vaccinated. The offer totaled at $1 million in the form of $5 apiece to the first 200,000 people who uploaded a picture of themselves getting a beer at their favorite watering hole. The company positioned it as buying the country around for hitting President Biden's goal of 70% vaccination by July 4th, 2021. Anheuser Busch does stand out in that they have no requirement on their job postings for sharing vaccination status. Part 3. Dylan Mulvaney controversy. In April 2023, Dylan Mulvaney, a trans woman social media influencer, became a sponsor for Bud Light. Bud Light sent Dylan a can of Bud Light with Dylan's face on it and text stating, "Congratulations on 365 days of womanhood." There was a large-scale backlash against Bud Light, ranging from social media mockery to Kid Rock shooting up his supply of Bud Light, and a host of criticism lobbed at the brewer along with mass boycotts. Distributors and wholesalers were no longer able to move the product and took to social media themselves to show that demand for Bud Light was severely diminished. The actual figures from Budweiser show their sales revenue is down significantly as a result of the boycotts following the advertisement. Part 4. Dylan Mulvaney fallout. The advertisement came about from Bud Light's Vice President of Marketing, Alyssa Heinerscheid, who was the first female to lead the brand in marketing in the company's history, and has since been placed on leave and replaced. Bud Light has been buying back beer which the distributors and wholesalers cannot sell and in some cases will expire. According to executives at the company, the decision to go ahead with a Dylan Mulvaney partnership was never approved by the corporate leadership. At the end of March 2023, it is estimated that their U.S. profits are down by 26%. Part 5. The Human Rights Campaign. Anheuser Busch walked back their partnership with Dylan Mulvaney, and the company lost their perfect LGBTQ+ rating with the HRC and is no longer listed as a favored employer by the HRC, which is an LGBTQ+ advocacy group. Dylan Mulvaney has since stated, quote, "The reason I think I'm an easy target is because I'm still new to this. I think going after a trans woman who has been doing this for 20 years is a lot more difficult." End quote. Anheuser-Busch's CEO issued a statement saying, "We never intended to be part of a discussion that divides people. We are in the business of bringing people together over a beer." Part 6. Political donations. Anheuser-Busch does donate to various political committees and groups. The majority of their political donations goes towards Republicans. It is important to differentiate what comes from the company versus the employees of the company. For example, far more is donated to conservative causes, but none of it is formally from the company, while Anheuser-Busch did donate to a liberal PAC in 2022. All in all, their political contributions in 2022 came out to nearly $3 million, while they spent over $5 million on political lobbying, totaling to roughly $8 million of political spending in 2022. At a net income of almost $6 billion, this means roughly 1.3% of their profits are spent on politics and lobbying, although some of those funds come from individuals at the company and not the company itself. Special shout out to Kettlebell. Get your kids a plush and soft kettlebell and dumbbell available on Amazon.